Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Marvel Rewind. I am your host, Brian, and with me, as always, are my friends and co-hosts, Gio, Jacob, and Keith. How's it going, everyone?
It's the Loki crew.
Hey. It's the Loki crew. Jake would be here, but he is currently sitting in a power outaged house.
Oh, no. Does he at least have AC?
I mean, I would assume not.
He doesn't have power.
Power's out.
No, you need power.
But he's like a generator or something? I don't know.
I don't know. It's been out for like over 2 hours, so the poor man is probably melting away. But yeah,
I would just go sit in my car and blast the AC.
You would.
Rather than come to your house, Brian. I would have came straight to your house.
He's closer to these two.
Or actually, yeah, I was gonna say Jacob's house.
Well, he could just go to his parents in Roseville too.
That's true.
Look at the shade. No one wants him. Everyone's trying to pass him off to his parents.
Hey, he didn't hit me up. He's more than welcome.
Yeah, say Jake, you come over.
Yeah, just drive all the way out here. But yeah, we are here to talk a little bit of Loki, episode 3. I just wanted to say something like Loki, da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's just Loki. So yeah, this is the 3rd episode in the series. Little bit more plot development through this one. One awesome, cool shot, and some cool stuff that we learned going on. But I want to individually ask how everyone is doing. Jacob, I'll start with you.
Like, how am I doing in general, or how do I like this episode?
How you doing? Did you like the episode?
Doing good.
How are you?
Working a lot, so my mind's like all over the place, just going from one thing to another, like waking up at 6:45 a.m. when I'm not used to it, and then like going to a summer camp, going straight to door dashing afterwards, straight to podcasting after that, dinner, sleep, do it again. So a little crazy, but I'd rather be busy than, in my thoughts. So that's good. As far as Loki goes, well, first of all, as a series so far, I love it. Like episodes 1 through 3, love the series. This episode, I'm a little torn on. I enjoyed watching it a lot, but by the time it ended, I'm like, that's it? Like, and you have 6 episodes and that's it? Yes, we learned a lot about the characters in general. We learned more about Loki than we originally knew. We learned a lot about Sylvie, if you want to call her that. That's great. And character development matters. But when you only have 6 episodes, I don't feel like enough happened. So I'm a little torn on this one.
Fair enough. Keith, same questions?
Yeah, first of all, I'm doing all right. I'm on vacation this week, which is great. It's in Tahoe earlier today, last couple of days, as I was telling you guys. So it's been all right so far. Yeah, this episode is, I was listening to somebody else say that on another show, saying that they were expecting this to be kind of a little more of a filler episode. So I kind of took what they said and I was like kind of braced for that. So I wasn't expecting anything to like action wise or more necessarily to move forward. The way it was playing out, I could see that, okay, we're getting a little bit of backstory. Certainly with Loki, I'll slightly disagree. Well, just from my perspective, I guess I'll kind of slightly disagree, Jacob. I don't know that we learned a lot about Sylvie. We learned more.
Well, I shouldn't say a lot. I just meant we learned we got the most information on her up to this point in this episode.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. We
literally
do nothing.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now we got a little bit, but we still don't. She still seems like, I guess she's a Loki.
And if she's a Loki, who knows if she's telling the truth about anything?
Exactly. That's why I said it still seems like it. She's still acting like she's saying she is, but or sort of saying she is. He shouldn't want to be called Loki, but yeah, it's just more, I guess, about getting the two of them getting to know each other. Are they gonna work together? Are they still kind of butting heads? They're still trying to figure out if they can trust each other or not. So that's really seemed to be the whole episode. Got to see Loki, Tom Hiddleston Loki, cut loose a little bit. have a couple of pops there and cut loose. It was kind of fun. Actually enjoyed that. But otherwise, yeah, they all kind of just took place on this one planet, which we've never heard of in the Marvel universe. I don't know what's going on there, but and yeah, don't know how they're gonna get off. It definitely ended with definitely another cliffhanger ending. I think because it's so short, obviously all the stuff's coming. Obviously with the last three, I think it's gonna be full steam ahead going forward. But I liked it. I like this episode.
Gio?
Well, as far as how I'm doing, I'm pretty good. I'm almost done with Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1. Love it.
Is it out?
Yes,
Ooh.
it is. You have to purchase it. It's
Is it on?
digitally.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's so worth it. Did a lot of reading today because the world is opening back up, and I got to make sure I'm ready. And yeah, saw Loki, and I will say this was a slow episode for me. If I had to use an analogy, those roller coasters where like you slowly go up, you're waiting. That's kind of how this episode was. And then instead of going down, it went straight down, and it was just a wild ending. We got some reveals that I'm sure we'll talk about. Learned some things as well for each character, but yeah, this was a pretty slow episode, and which was I'm using that tone to describe it because the last episode we saw all these variant timelines happen, and I'm like, oh my god, everything's finally happening, but that's like, oh no, wait, everything's happening next episode. It's like,
Yeah.
So this felt like a part one of like of I don't know. How
the last act. I feel like the beginning of the last act.
Yeah, it felt like a part one, and I'm just like, come on, get to it now. I want to know. I mean, we learned more about the TVA, but I want to learn more about the TVA.
Agreed.
So we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. First episode, I was like, okay. Second episode, it was like, yes. Now I'm into this. Like, I'm in. This one put me back to like, okay. Like I'm riding a roller coaster, like you said, with this one. First one was uphill. Second got me to the top. This one I was just kind of like, okay.
Like, is the ride broken?
Yeah, I didn't love it. It wasn't the best episode. It was a good episode. It was funny. It definitely played to a lot of like fan service type stuff, which I know people hate fan service. I'm all for it. Like, give us the stuff that we like.
Yeah.
Are you against that, Keith? Or no?
No, not at all. I hate that people complain about that. Like everything.
Oh yeah.
Fan service.
Yeah. So I'm all for the fan service. I'm sure we'll get into a couple things that they did. But yeah, from what Jake has told me and what we've heard, Gio, you even said it, that the next couple of episodes is like where the things start to take off. I would hope so if there's only 3 more episodes left. So yeah, Keith, you got something?
I'm sorry, I'm watching the game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
I thought you thought of something, and I was like, oh.
I did.
Okay.
No, the Hawks just took a 1-point lead. It's 112-111 with 29 seconds left.
Oh.
I'm not convinced, and it's just, if you don't mind, let's talk about Sylvie really quick.
Yeah, no. This will be an open, because this one kind of, there's not really like hammer home.
Not like a thing. Other than, well, Gio, you mentioned the big reveal. There's kind of a reveal about the
There's a couple of things, but go for it.
But with her, and I wonder if this is maybe the intent. We still just don't know. Like, I'm not really fully convinced that she's a villain, to be honest. The more I kind of think about it, I rewatched the last episode, and I'm watching this, and I'm kind of like, I don't. She definitely has an agenda, obviously, and she'll hurt anyone that she needs to.
So, what would determine a villain for you? Like, if her grand plan is for an evil purpose, basically.
Yes, but also
obviously she just kills innocent people too.
Well, we don't know.
Get out in her way.
She's killing people in the TVA, and we don't know how good or innocent they are.
That's true.
That's my point.
The
That's my
TVA
point.
is the villain.
Is
Well-
she killing people because the TVA agents survived?
She said they always survive, so that's another thing too. But she did kill a bunch of ones with those wands. She made them all.
Well, that's what I'm talking. I forget what they call that when you get like disintegrated. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, but also
we don't know what they are.
the guards aren't the villains. Even if the TVA is the villains, the guards aren't. Though they don't really
Maybe
know.
Maybe not.
Well,
but it's like
yeah.
stormtroopers, right? I mean,
Who knows which one's good or bad?
That's a
You know?
perfect
Yeah,
analogy
yeah.
because I've been saying this for a while. The TVA agents, they suck at hand-to-hand combat. I mean, you had the upper hand when Sylvie tried to use her magic, and it didn't work,
Right.
and you still got your ass handed to you. It's just.
But yeah, and in terms of
Nothing against Sylvie being a badass at all. It's
No,
just,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, the TVA
But those-
agents.
they're just there to get beat up. That's all.
They're-
Like I said,
yeah,
that's why I call them
yeah.
stormtroopers. You know, they're like Ultron robots or like Chitauri. I think Brian said.
Chitauri,
Or what one of y'all said. Yeah, that's all. They're just. But there's like one or two of them that we kind of get to know. Like this girl at the beginning of this one, who turns out we find out is from, well, we don't know from Earth, but did she say it's from Earth? I can't remember.
Yeah, she did.
She's a
Did she?
variant.
Okay. Yeah, and she's a variant apparently. Yeah, which I suspected that when Loki and Owen Wilson were having that discussion about what they believe and what does he think the TVA is versus I
just
suspected-
realized Owen Wilson's character is also a variant now.
Oh my
Variant,
god!
right?
You just put
No,
that
no, no,
together?
no. All right. First of all, they're all variants, literally all of them. And I never thought about his characters until
Wait
now.
till I drop a truth bomb on
He's
you.
from the '90s. His character's from the '90s, and he loves jet skis and stuff. So that's what I'm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, that's what I'm
here's
saying.
your,
Okay.
here's
Go
your
ahead,
truth
Brian.
bomb, Jacob. His last memory before being changed is being on a jet ski.
On a jet ski.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Yeah.
Hey.
Now that all makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, continue.
Delete that
what you
one
were
from my
saying.
notes.
Well, that's I suspected that when he was really like adamant about I was created by the TVA and Loki seemed like where are you? And like I just had that thought in my head. I was like I don't think so. Like I don't know. It seemed odd that they're making people just to do whatever it is they're doing there. And so it makes sense that they're just plucking people from throughout all of history to do whatever it is they're doing. Hopefully, we'll find out. We will find out before the show ends. So.
Which makes whoever's behind the TVA, which I think we all know who's really behind the TVA, the real villain, and that Sylvie is, you know, they said it. She's somebody who has, she says it herself, she's been on the run from the TVA for a long time because the TVA sees her like a threat, much like, you know, how the Winter Soldier, they try to get rid of threats before, you know, they happen. And it's like, maybe whoever's behind the TVA is like, okay, there's a reason why I'm keeping my eye on this case, like real closely watching it, because she has the potential, because we know the future is still being unwrapped, worked out. She has the potential to ruin everything. And I think she does, hence the multiverse of madness. So it's just seeing how. So
yeah, I agree. I actually really like this actress playing this character. Didn't know her at all coming into this, and I really like how she is working alongside Tom Hiddleston. They're very, very good together. And for me, it's very believable that she could be like a variant of him. Like she's playing her own Loki very well. Now, here's what I'll say about this. To me, there is no denying, in my opinion, anymore that she is a enchantress. I mean, they said enchant a dozen times during this episode. We have not heard the word enchant before this episode. He's asking her, how do you enchant? How do you show me how to enchant? Well, like all this stuff. Now, the question is, how is she going to be an enchantress? I think she's just going to be a product of another Loki, kind of like when he gave that little explanation that they can like manifest themselves as like another thing. Hence, she will become the Enchantress. But like, because to me, there's no like I have enough evidence to, from what I've seen, that's going to be an Enchantress. And to me, I think she is going to be a product of Richard E. Grant's Loki variant. So, because he has yet to appear, and he's in this.
So, are you predicting that that's who he's playing?
He's an older version of Loki. I was going to say that too.
Yep, he's going to be. I think he's going to be an older Loki.
Yeah.
That created Sylvie. Because I don't think she is a Loki. I think she is a product of a Loki. And that's why she doesn't want to be called Loki.
Do you think that... Oh, okay. So you don't think that she even thinks she is a Loki?
No, I think she is just like a manifestation of his powers. He created her, and she now has all this ability. Because in the comics, there's kind of something similar.
Yeah.
I think they're going to mix and match and kind of just do what they do to create a character.
So she thinks she had a mother at one point.
I 100% think she thinks that she's like real.
Yeah,
but she's not.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know. This is me going off on a tangent, but I don't think I 100% at this point. I don't think she is Enchantress, but I think she will become what is known as an Enchantress. That's me. Again,
I think
I love her character.
I think it might be one of those, and maybe I might be wrong. I don't know, but it could just be one of those things where she is, like you said, a different, like she's the Enchantress. She may not necessarily be called that, like.
Well, haven't they done that with other characters?
Oh,
there's a few characters. We see that in like Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Returns,
Rises.
Yeah, sorry. Whereas like they didn't call her Catwoman, but she was Catwoman. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think it might be a situation like that.
I agree.
Maybe I don't know unless I don't remember, because isn't that name isn't that Enchantress?
Sylvie is a Enchantress.
Yeah. So yeah, you might be on something. There's something, I don't know. It's weird. There's something weird about her.
There'll be a bit of a something, but I think next episode you're going to see Richard E. Grant as an older Loki, and he has something to do with her specifically. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see next.
Speaking of Loki being like, show me how to enchant or something, like we're seeing all kind of new powers from Loki that we haven't seen before. Like, can somebody explain to me how that is just all of a sudden a thing? I mean, he literally stopped a building at the end.
I
always figured that he could do stuff like that. Like, he can basically do anything, but which makes me think like, oh, Keith wasn't having that.
No,
which basically makes me wonder, like, come on, you can get out of this. Like, really? So I don't know at times, but I was thinking like in my head, like, can't Loki just like stop all this stuff from falling on them? Like, and he did it for that one thing, but maybe it's a situation where he can't hold it for that long, or he can't lift up like everything that's falling, But I always assumed
that one little like where he threw the building. I was like, really?
I was like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I understand. Like, and I love when he fights and he uses the magic, like throws the magic at them. Like we saw, I think it was the TVA agent he was fighting.
We had
the green blast out of him. That was dope. I loved that. When he threw the building, I was like, hold up.
Everyone we've seen use magic in the MCU can do that.
I think it just more or less for me was just kind of like, it caught me off guard. Like,
yeah, we've never seen Loki do it, but
That's
think
a
about
lot
it.
of magic.
Everyone who has done magic can like stop the object from falling and throw it or something.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just
So why
imagine
can't
if
he
he
do it?
did that, like during the Avengers New York battle, where he can like all of a sudden throw buildings at the Avengers and stuff like that. It's just like it's just he's been in the MCU for 10. Well, I mean, I guess not really because this is a different
He's damn
Loki.
near been since the beginning.
I mean, but this is a different Loki. That's what makes it confusing. Is that
Okay, yeah,
we've seen the character in the MCU for 10 years.
yeah, but this Loki is pretty much
this-
the same.
the same. Yeah, I mean, his future plays out, right? The TVA played out his future for him. Like,
Yeah,
it's gonna end up the same way as the other Loki, I guess. So I guess that the argument stands, in my opinion. But there was another theory going around that he took one of the time stones, but we didn't see it.
he would have
And he's
had to
somehow
do
manipulating
the
it.
reverse.
The what?
He would have had to do that. How Doctor Strange how they catch things, and then do it in reverse. And he just went like.
I mean,
I don't think
I've only seen it once. Has anybody seen it more than once? Does
Not
it
this
look like
episode.
it reversed?
It just looks like he stopped it and then threw it back.
Yeah, it's kind of like
But
something a lot.
maybe he did use the time stone. That maybe we'll find out later. But because I saw speculation online that he took one of the time stones when he
But then
opened the drawer and stuff. But
Yeah.
wouldn't he be able to just do anything then with the time stone if he
Yeah,
had
I
it?
feel like he
Because
would
they're
have been
out
able
of the
to do-
TVA, right?
Yeah, he could have just reversed himself back to where he was before he got lost. So
Yeah, so that's interesting. Or maybe he doesn't know how to use the time stone yet fully.
Actually, the more we talk about it, the more I think about it. I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
it's a stretch because
Because then you have to find the time stone for that universe and make sure it works, and then why not just use the time stone? Like
It's
like you
possible
said,
he
go all
took
the way
one and he
back.
just didn't know what universe it's for, and he's just holding on to it in case he ends up in that universe somehow.
yeah.
It's possible.
So anything else about Enchantress that we want to mention specifically? I would like to get into personally the train.
No, I'm sure she'll come up again because she's in the whole episode, right? So
Yeah.
if there's anything we forgot, we'll talk about her.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the beginning, where she is tapping in to that TVA agent's mind, and they're sitting down having margaritas. When I first saw it, I was
Yeah.
like, wait, do they know each other? Like, it's like, no, she's
I
just
forgot who that person was at first. I was like,
Yeah.
who is she talking to?
in her mind, and trying to get information out. And yeah, I don't know. She's there's still so much to learn about her. She's, I don't know, like your theory about her being a product of an older Loki. It's like, man, like I didn't even think about Richard E. Grant and the fact that we haven't seen him yet. It's just,
I only remember him because he's one of my favorite actors right now.
And they haven't announced who he's playing yet, so it makes sense to that would be a big deal if he is playing that.
I just had a thought. I think I might have just thought of how they get off of Lamentis. He's going to be the Loki for Lamentis' universe, and he's going to somehow save them.
So you don't think they're in the same, the 616 Earth universe?
No. I
guess a bunch of timelines are going on right now. So can they jump to any timeline in that, with those little devices?
Well, the device is broken.
Well, I'm just saying in general, did they get?
So.
Yeah.
I bet you Richard E. Grant will be the Loki that happens to be on that Lamentis planet, and it would work well because it took place in 2077, so he would definitely be at least 40 to 50 years older than what he is right now. Granted, Asgardians age differently.
Yeah.
But he's not an Asgardian.
But obviously frost giants age slower than just humans.
Yeah, so we don't know how that would work, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm now that I think about it, I'm starting to think that maybe Richard E. Grant might be the savior that gets him off that planet.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, do they have time? You said they had 12 hours, right? So
I have no idea, because where it ended, I was like, oh, okay.
Who's behind it, and did they close up all the other variant timelines?
Yeah, I think that they'll probably only spend 10, maybe 15 minutes more on this planet.
Right.
And then they're out of there. Because, I mean, this planet dying is not important to the Loki story. They just need a way to get off of it. So
it was meant to happen, right? Like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, nothing's. I mean, didn't she say? Yeah, she knew how everything was going to work. Like, this planet's going to crash into that ship doesn't make it off, but maybe we can get it to. So she knew what was going on with this place. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how they. That's my only theory of getting off at this point is Richard E. Grant's character appears and has something to do with it. Maybe he's a Loki that has, like, you know how was it Thor or Thor 2? Thor 2, how he had the Asgardian ship go through the mountain, and it really was a secret passageway to somewhere else. So maybe he has one of those somewhere or something. I don't know, because I have no idea how they're getting off the planet at this point.
And Loki was the only one that knew about that.
Exactly.
That's how he kept. That's how he's able to leave and go to the Frost Giant world.
Yeah.
Without Heimdall seeing him.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea how he's going to get off, but let's talk about the train stuff, because a lot of fun stuff happened in that. We got another referenced. Loved that.
Yeah.
Which did he know that his brother did that on Earth?
I think that's just an Asgardian thing.
It's probably just an Asgardian tradition. Yeah. No, I think it's just Asgardian tradition. They guzzle a drink and go another.
Because I'm pretty sure Volstagg did that at one point too. Like they were eating dinner and went another.
Yep.
So I think that's just an Asgardian thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyone else? Anything else they enjoyed throughout that train scene?
I mean,
well, that was like the highlight of the episode when they were on the train the whole time. We learned a lot. Well, we don't need to get into it, but it was interesting to learn about Loki's sexuality. Pretty cool.
So he's gender fluid and now bisexual.
I mean, it makes sense. He's lived for thousands of years, and you're like,
well, no surprise.
Yeah, and that is comic accurate. That he's the exact same way in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So they carried that over. They didn't. What's the term? Change it. I was going to say whitewash.
Yeah, I mean, it was never necessary to discuss, honestly. But I like this conversation because, like, they don't really talk about that stuff in the MCU at all, really, unless there's a character we know's in a relationship or like a, Peggy Carter, Steve Rogers thing. There's not a lot of romance in the MCU, and for gods who, I mean, we're assuming she's a god who has lived as long as he has or close to it, who, they don't necessarily just live a 90-year life. It was interesting to hear them talk about it, and I loved how he was like, he's like, is something I'm going to need a few more drinks to think about. Yeah. And then he was thinking about it that whole time, and he compared it to daggers. So from the moment they get on the train to leaving, like, that was the highlight of the episode to me, because I like when characters just sit down and talk, especially when it involves a character that I care about. So that stuff was pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the way too. Totally agree. And just jumping back to the thing about whatever, his sexuality. He just said it then they just move on. There's nothing really.
It's
sort of like
not even a big deal, and it shouldn't be a big deal.
It's like the Joe Russo character in Endgame, where you just talk about it. He's on a date with a guy. That's it. Nothing. It's not because it is normal, so it's not like
exactly.
To be, so
it's
small
enough to be. I was gonna say it's small enough to be a big deal to people that appreciate
I know what
that.
you mean. Right.
Not like big enough to like change the scenery of the whole entire story.
No, exactly.
So, it's nice nod. It's just a nice nod to everyone in the world that is, that's it's the same. It's like, hey, okay, cool. You know what? So little representation. That's all it is. Doesn't have to be
100%.
But leading up to that though, I noted a thing where when the meteors, I guess, are falling from that planet or moon or whatever, there was a certain shot that was nearly identical, and I don't know. I hope there was a way I could compare them side to side, but it looked just like Rey and Finn running during the TIE fighter attack at the beginning of Force Awakens. There's a certain shot, there's a certain angle, and the way there was an explosion right behind them, and the way they were positioned.
Oh, I forgot I had pictures.
Looked exactly like that.
Wow, we talked about it before the show too.
I know. I always forget we have pictures.
I know.
But
yeah, there was a certain shot when one of the meteors fell and they were running. It looked exactly like one of the shots from Rey and Finn running from the TIE fighter attack. I immediately thought of that.
You making Rise of Skywalker comments.
Force Awakens.
Oh, Force Awakens?
I said the Force Awakens.
Did you? Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yes.
Yeah, because Keith pretends that movie doesn't exist.
Yeah. That's why I was
I don't.
off guard.
No, I acknowledge it exists. It sucks.
Another
Rachel makes a good point here.
Go ahead.
Rachel, I noted this too. I'm going to do this for the first time. If I can. Probably can't.
You got it.
Yeah. Commentary about the poor being left behind. There we go. I noticed that as well.
That's something that we see often. I mean, I'm not saying it's not important, but it's just like, of course, only the rich people get on, on board, or luxury, like the 1%.
Very a la Snowpiercer, where the rich are in the best parts.
Yeah.
And the poor are just.
And then they're the ones to die first when the ship gets hit by a meteor.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how much of that we've seen in the MCU, though. I'm trying to think of off the top of my head. I don't know that we've ever seen anything like. You're right. We do see that in. But I'm just trying to think of something in MCU. I don't really recall.
There's nothing that's like as blunt as like the rich are more important than the poor that I can think of.
I mean,
maybe, off the top of my head, yeah, that's right.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff, like that, all that stuff.
I mean, like social class, yeah.
Sure. Right.
But nothing like so direct like this, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was notable, yeah. It was specific.
And crazy thing is, it's on a different planet in 2077 too, which shows like it's no different on Earth. The same thing would happen on Earth now.
100%.
And a good point too, Rachel. Right at the end when they were trying to leave, and Loki said they're just going to let all these people die. I noted that as well.
Very much hitting a.
So I will say one of my favorite moments in the episode, and my new favorite word is hedonistic. I know this word, but I when you're like reminded of a word and you're like, wait a minute, let me look that up. And Loki's like, I'm hedonistic. She's like, I'm hedonistic, maybe more than you. And I'm like,
more than you.
Hedonistic. That is a great word, and that's kind of how I live my life. I think I'm hedonistic as well. So
you English major.
I relate to Loki and whoever she is.
You're such an English major.
No, so I mean, like I said, I knew the word, but I had to like look it up to remind myself. And it means engaged in the pursuit of pleasure, sensually self-indulgent. And that's definitely what Loki is, for sure. And I like he was referencing, like, that's why he was just drinking on the train. because he's like, I'm interested in like having fun, like giving myself, something to enjoy in
but
life.
it's just poor timing though, because it's like you got to get off the planet and the planet's dying. Is that really the best time to be?
But to me, it shows
hedonistic?
that's what Loki would do. Like
Exactly.
he's like not worried, He's kind of reckless in a way. And
he did what Loki does and makes himself the center of attention in a bad situation. He did not.
And also he's selfish. Like maybe him staying sober and focusing on the mission is like the right thing to do, but is Loki always going to do the right thing? No.
Yeah.
So, I liked it.
One other thing that I love when they try to make a plan and then they have opposite ideas, but then both of their ideas are what make the plan work. So like, for example, like this part where he's like, all right, follow my lead. And she's like, I'll just enchant them. And so they both like, he used her to get so far. And then once he got caught, she did her plan, which was to enchant the guy. And then they got on. So like, it's like they both have half the plan, and without each other, like they're with each other, they make the whole plan work. So it makes me laugh. Another thing I loved the singing part when he's on the train, the old like Celtic.
When she sings, go home.
Yeah, whatever. Asgardian, very old world drinking song thing. Loved that. And the one thing that I'm bummed that Jake Berlin is not here, because if there's one thing that this man loves, it's a one-shot tracking shot. And they had a whole part of it.
Oh, same here.
Oh, yeah, you too. But this man,
Birdman.
Yeah, anytime you get a one-man tracking shot, this guy is the first thing he wants to talk about. But so then you take it, Gio.
No, I always look for that kind of stuff. When I see that that a scene is going on longer and it's like the camera's rotating and then it's going up and then it's going back down and then it.
Gio, have you seen 1917?
Yes.
Oh, freaking love that movie.
Yeah, that's another great one too, man. It's just like I don't know. Did you guys notice it? Like while you were watching it, you were like, "Oh, this is a continuous shot." Like,
no, I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I noticed that it kept going, but I didn't associate it being a one shot.
See, to me, that's what made this episode. Like by the end, I was like, "Okay, yes," like
something.
Like I said, with the roller coaster analogy, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up. Instead of like going down, we went straight down, and it was.
And then it didn't. Then the roller coaster didn't end. Like the episode ended before you got off the roller coaster too.
Yeah. It's like it ended like right when you're usually about to do the flip in the right after you drop.
Yeah.
Like, right there, and it's like, okay, what's gonna happen next?
So I guess we needed this episode to like, because when are they gonna have time to have those like conversation moments? Like sit down and have a conversation with Loki and her. So I guess we needed this moment. And like Keith said, it's probably pedal to the metal for the next 3 episodes, I would assume.
I think this episode and probably the 6th episode are going to be very similar in the context of talking, breaking things down, not a lot of action.
I did miss Mobius, though. I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
Mobius.
Well, that's the thing. We have no idea what they're doing. Like, what's going on?
I mean, yeah. To think, I mean, I would assume right now think that Loki has abandoned them and is doing bad things. Like,
here we go.
There you go. There you go, John.
Well, they must. All the TVA agents are trying to fight off the disruption of the timeline. So he probably had to go do that.
Yeah, not to mention
we only briefly saw. Oh, I'm sorry. But just briefly at the beginning saw. Renslayer.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna
Riddler.
say.
Yeah, for like a minute.
I thought we were gonna get to see her fight. I was like, oh, here we go. And
Yeah, right.
No
Well,
action.
she
Right.
flat out was like, "Kill him."
Yeah.
Kill him.
We-
Yeah,
we
exactly.
bring you a favor, almost. So clearly, she don't want him around. I think, next to whoever
She
is
is.
what?
What do you think
Who
she
do I
is?
think
What
she
do
is?
you think?
And
what's
she's
what's
Kang
deal
the
with her, man?
Conqueror's girlfriend.
I think
Girlfriend? That's
whoever the TVA is, which kind of seems to be Kang, she's his or whoever's right hand person.
number 2.
Yeah.
I'm with that theory, to be honest. And this is not a WandaVision crazy theory. Like, I think this makes sense.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
think
because Sylvie kept asking the girl like, who's guarding the time or whatever.
No
what do they call
one,
it?
because he doesn't need it.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
timekeepers, yeah.
Timekeeper. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And she couldn't get that information. I don't know if she doesn't know or
I
yeah,
think
maybe
the
doesn't know. I don't
only
know.
people that know what's going on is anyone with one of those sashes that are like the special that she has. Like, those are the people that are in the know. She knows what the real deal is. I wouldn't be surprised if she is like the first variant that was brought in to this scheme that the timekeepers have going on, or whoever's timekeeper or whatever. But I do think she is the right hand woman of whoever's leading this facade. And I do think that the TVA is going to be the real villains out of this.
That's the thing. Like, sometimes you have somebody in charge, but they didn't know that there was shady stuff behind the scenes. Like, they were just like the face of it. I think she knows what's going on and she's covering it up.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like, I'm down. Like, I don't think we've ever seen her play a villain. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what she is, who she is. I really would love to see Mobius in real Sacred Timeline world, if he's just like some random schmo.
I can't wait to see that jet ski scene.
I have seen this a lot. That Ms. Minutes is the
That's
real
not-
villain.
That's not crazy.
God,
There could be
I've
something
seen that
with
a
her.
lot.
Well, if she is, that's not her true form. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, some kind of AI situation. Yeah.
But I like Miss Minutes, so I'm okay with that. It's like so stupid that it would work for me. But anyone got anything else they want to bring up before we wrap it up? And there wasn't too much.
I think Gio maybe has a few things.
No, go ahead, Keith. You look like, yeah.
Well, really quick, this is super fast, but it's nothing about necessarily this. It's just what I don't want. And
That's fine.
I'm thinking about I still want to see a big battle in the sky between two powerful people. I don't want to see just a big battle at the end. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, I'd like to, like Jacob. Well, you both, Brian and Jacob, were just talking about how maybe there'll be more, maybe more of a discussion, debate sort of thing. There's going to be a fight. There's going to be a big fight. I know, but I don't know. I'd just like to see something different for the finale, rather than just a big old. All right, I'm going to use all my powers, and I'm going to use all my powers, and no knock on WandaVision. I know, you got two witches battling each other at the end. That's really kind of.
Well, for me, it fits with WandaVision. That's it.
Yeah.
To me, what else are you gonna do with two witches like that? To me, it fit. But I agree with you. I don't want to see Loki and her in the sky, like just going like this at each other.
Well, I think it'll be
Or Kang or whoever, just shooting lasers.
Well, we've already seen him with the barbarians in the previews. I think that will be your end fight scene. I have a feeling what's going to happen is all those people are going to fight, but he's going to be chatting, and that's probably how you get
Yeah.
your stuff. Like maybe he'll do a couple like fight like defense things, but mostly it's going to be him fighting and defending and stuff, and then some ginormous reveal, and that's it.
Hey Keith, real quick. So when you cut out, we were talking about how like Loki's powers, and we've never seen him really like move a huge object like that before. But to me, I always assumed that he could do that if he needed to. And so, did you have a problem with that when you saw it?
No, it's cool. I had that exact same thought. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Loki do that. Not that I can recall. Just the thing off the top of my head. But yeah, no, I thought it was very cool. And we are seeing him do a few more things. We hadn't seen him really do any like real shit, because he is a shapeshifter. I know in the real mythology he's a shapeshifter. He did a little bit of that, like in the first movie, Thor movie.
Well, he does it free.
Oh
like,
no, second
he changed
one.
into Captain America a few times.
That's why I said I meant to say the second one, Thor 2.
Yeah.
And then not really a lot since that I can think of. So it's cool to see him do a little bit of that in these last couple episodes. So yeah, I know, because I know that's one of your big complaints about Loki is that we don't really get his power set, because he's extremely powerful.
I think they depower him sometimes, where they're like, just to make it more intense, like let's put him in a situation he can't get out of. But I'm like, are you kidding me? Loki can get out of this easily.
Yeah,
right.
We'll see.
If he wanted to, yeah. So yeah, I agree. So yeah, well, no, that was cool.
I love when he pulls the quill and the paper out. He's like, all right.
Oh yeah. And the fireworks were kind of cool too.
And the fireworks, yeah.
That's cool, right? Yeah.
Gio.
Yeah, what you got? What do you think?
All right, guys. Well, all right. So, Lady Loki, Sylvie, she, as of right now, is a variant of Loki, right?
That's what they want us to think.
Yes.
Apparently. Yeah.
It could very well be the case. I think this confirms what we've all been wondering about Spider-Man No Way Home.
Sorry.
This is it. This is confirmation right here. What you have is two variants interacting with each other. And for me, that's confirmation that we will get variant Spider-Mans interacting with each other this December. So for me, after watching this episode, I'm like, oh, that's it. It's done. It's signed, sealed, delivered. We're getting Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Spider-Man.
Do you remember when they were showing like the holograms of all the different Lokis that look different?
Yes.
So that's another hint towards that.
Yes. So, guys, get ready to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield on the big screen this December. It's going to be glorious.
I guess Disney paid Gio to do an ad for, or I guess Sony paid Gio to do an ad for Spider-Man 3.
Ask Keith. We talk about this every Sunday.
No, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I think I'm sure you're right. Honestly, I don't see how.
I think they're like getting us ready for the idea of it.
Of multiple versions of a character. Oh my god, I can't wait.
And that's why seeing what's it called, Jamie Foxx's character back, like it's not crazy. Like when this exists in this world. It's not crazy.
Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, William Dafoe's Green Goblin.
And they could even be different ones. They don't even have to be the same ones from those movies. They can be a different one, but they just look like the same actors.
Well, Alfred Molina will be the same one. He straight up confirmed that himself, and Marvel's upset at him for that.
Oh, well, that's fine too, because then because even if Jamie Foxx is the one from Amazing Spider-Man 2, he's connected to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. So
yeah.
It works.
Oh man, sorry, I didn't mean to jump off, but it's like
I thought you were gonna name some big negative about the episode. I was like, here we go.
No, not really. I mean,
I think we kind of all
enough. It was slow, but it did enough, And there are going to be slower episodes, and not all of them are going to be, I don't know,
fast paced.
It's like when you drive in on the US 101 or some freeway, you're bound to hit some traffic, slow and go. Okay, it's not all going to be doing 85 on the freeway. Okay, so
fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything else? No?
think that's
We're all
it.
good? All right.
Good episode.
Well,
It's the shortest
good
one. It's the
episode.
shortest episode too. I noticed.
it is the shortest one.
So,
But,
40 minutes,
yeah.
I think. or something.
Yeah, it was like 42, something like that. But that is going to do it for us on this Marvel Rewind. Thank you, as always, for joining us. We will be back again next week, a week from today, to discuss episode 4, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully Jake's Power will be back on and he will be able to join us at that point. But yeah, for Apocalypse Movies, I'm Brian. That is Jacob. That is Keith. That is Gio. And we will catch you guys next time. See ya.